Students, today we learn the topic electric flux. So before that, first of all we should know area, surface area, whether it is open area or a closed area. The example of open area are square, rectangle, circle, all those are open area, and closed area is cube or sphere, those are called closed area. All are vector quantities. Why? Because you know that from class 11 the formula of area is A cross B magnitude. The cross product of two vector represents the area of a parallelogram. So cross product is a vector quantity, that's why surface area is a vector quantity. Now what will be the direction of the area? It is perpendicular, because you know that the cross product of two vector is perpendicular to each vector. A cross B is perpendicular to vector A as well as vector B. That's why the direction of surface area is perpendicular to it, either upward or downward. If it is a closed surface, then this can be like this or this. So surface area is a vector quantity. Now come to electric flux. Electric flux means, suppose there is a charge q. In last class we have studied electric field lines. Electric field lines means the path followed by the unit positive charge. Many number of field lines will pass from the charge. So suppose you put a area here, then how many number of electric field lines are crossing that area? That is called electric flux. The number of electric field lines crossing an area perpendicularly. Why perpendicularly we are taking? You can see this diagram. Suppose these are the electric field lines, and we are putting the area like this. The direction of area vector is perpendicular to it. This is the direction of electric field. Theta is equal to 0. Here the surface area is perpendicular. Theta is equal to 0. So flux will be, how many number of electric flux will cross the area? Suppose E is the electric field per unit area, then E into A, or cos 0 EA. But suppose you put the surface area like this, then what will happen? No electric field line will cross it. The flux will be 0. So when the surface area is perpendicular, or when theta is equal to 0, then maximum number of electric field lines cross the area. That's why the definition is like that: the number of electric field lines crossing an area perpendicularly. Here like this is the surface area. Phi is equal to E into A. E is the electric field per unit area, total area A, so E into A. So what will be the unit? Newton meter square per coulomb. What will happen if the area is not perpendicular? Like this, these are the electric field lines, and this is the surface area. Here the surface area is not perpendicular to the electric field lines. But suppose you resolute, suppose the direction of area vector is making an angle theta, then if you resolute this, then this will be E cos theta, this will be E sin theta. Now E cos theta is perpendicular, so flux will be phi. In place of E there will be E cos theta into A, because E cos theta is a component which is perpendicular to the area. So E cos theta into A, or EA cos theta, and from class 11th we know that EA cos theta will be E dot A. So electric flux is nothing but the dot product of electric field and area vector. Unit will be Newton meter square per coulomb, and the dot product of two vector is a scalar quantity. So electric flux is a scalar, not a vector. It is a scalar quantity. Clear? Now we can calculate the electric flux in two ways. One is from electric field, that is EA cos theta. Another that is given by Gauss law, that is from electric charge. So how to calculate the electric flux from charge? One formula is phi is equal to EA, or E dot A. Another formula is, suppose there is a charge q inside a closed surface. It can be a sphere or a cube. Then according to Gauss law, phi will be equal to net charge inside the closed surface. This is q net by epsilon naught. How to prove this? This is how to calculate electric flux from electric charge. How to prove this? Suppose there is a charge q. You enclose the charge by a closed surface. Then suppose you are taking a small area dA here. The direction of dA is this. The direction of electric field is this. Theta is equal to 0. So flux through this small area will be d phi is equal to E dA cos 0, because E dot A. So this is E dA. Now net flux through the surface, that is integration E dA. E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. What is integration dA? Surface area of a sphere. This is a sphere, not a circle. that is 4 pi r square, 4 pi cancel, r square cancel, q by epsilon naught. This is the proof of Gauss law. So Gauss law states that the total electric flux coming out of a closed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge inside it. This is q net charge inside it. And which charge we have to consider? The charge inside the closed surface. Outside, that is not considered. So before going to the application of Gauss law, we will solve certain numericals. So we have learned two formula. One is phi is equal to integration E dot dA or E dot A. Another is phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. We will learn both method. First one is a charge 8.854 microcoulomb is, this is 8.854 microcoulomb is kept at the center of a sphere of radius 10 cm. Calculate the flux coming out of it. How the flux will change if the radius of the sphere is doubled. So simple, charge is given, so you have to use Gauss law. Phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. Q is 8.854 microcoulomb. The value of epsilon naught, you know this will be 10 to the power 6 Newton meter square per coulomb. Now what will happen if the size of the sphere is doubled? The flux will remain same. Why? Because suppose from the charge q 4 electric field lines are coming, 1 2 3 4. Then if you increase the size of the sphere, then also the number of electric field lines will remain 4. That's why it is independent of size of the Gaussian surface. If you increase the radius of the sphere, then also the flux will remain same. Another question here. There are two concentric sphere. Inside S1 there is 2 coulomb, inside S2 there is 4 coulomb. What will be phi 1 by phi 2? You must be thinking that phi 1 will be 2 by epsilon naught, phi 1 by phi 2 will be 2 by epsilon naught by 4 by epsilon naught. So it will be 1:2. But this is the wrong answer, because inside here phi 1 will be 2 by epsilon naught, it is correct, but what will be phi 2? Phi 2 will be 6 by epsilon naught, because this S1 is inside S2. So the answer will be 1:3, not 1:2. Similarly, how to calculate electric flux? By using the formula E dot A, you just go through this numerical, and next class, and there are two other numericals also, how to find out the flux through an open surface like a square or a hemisphere. In the next class, first of all, we will consider this numerical, then we will go to application of Gauss law. For today, this is enough. Thank you.